Hello world, it's Angelot, and let us talk about the brush component. Now the brush component is really slick, fairly easy to use, but you kind of got to know how to set it up. So I'm going to give you what I wish I had when I first tried to use it, and hopefully in a few minutes you'll be able to set it up too. Let's do it. Now the brush component needs a couple of things, and the most important of which is the scale. So let's set up an X scale to start with. We'll set the domain to 0 to 1, which is actually the default. Maybe you want to change it for whatever data you have. It's up to you, but let's just give it a domain. The range now is important though, because this is how big our X scale is, or our slider is going to be in pixels. So let's go ahead and make our brush, and we'll set the X to our X scale. And now we need to make a group element, and we will just call brush on slider. So we give the brush function a group element to render into, but we don't see anything. You know, what's going on? Well, there's a couple of things. This creates a few elements, so let's take a look at them. Let's see here. So in our SVG, what is going on here? We have our group, and it's created some rectangles. Now there's a rectangle with a class background, extent, a group resize, which has a rectangle, another group resize, east and west actually. But look at this, visibility hidden. So that's not good. Alright, so here we can use a nice feature of tributary that's been added not too long ago by the venerable Mr. E.J. Fox, where you can add a new file up here in this tab and create a style. So we had our background class, and we want to make this visible. Oh, we don't need quotes in CSS. And let's make it important. It's quite important that we can see this. Now we had extent. And we'll make that visible too. And I already know it's a resize we saw, but we need to set the rectangles of resize to have their visibility visible. Now everything's visible, but we don't see anything. This is because if we also noticed, these elements are now visible, but these rectangles have an X and a width but no height. So we need to, after we call this brush, select all the rectangles and give them a height of, I don't know, 30. Oh look, there it is. It's our brush, and it's brushing, but we can't see what's going on still because we want to give this another color. What color? Bright pink. Oh, look at that. Cool. And we can give these here our handles actually. See those handles? Let's make them a different color. Something brighter. There we go. Cool. Alright, so now one other thing you might want to do is set the brush's extent before you draw it. So we can do like 0.4 to 0.6 because our scale is from 0 to 1. So this is in the data space. If you want like a default extent that it starts at, right? and then you can come in here and change it, do whatever you want. That's nice. Another thing that I just like always have to do is set a transform and translates, I don't know, 100, 100, so it's just not up in the corner. Yeah, that's nice. You know, and so this is X, right? So you might wonder what happens if we go in the Y direction. Let's copy this and make a Y scale. And let's set a Y scale. Whoa, look at that. So what's going on here? We need to set this height to be the height of the Y scale. Oh, this is nuts. I think I know what's going on. So we can't just blatantly set all the rectangles. There we go. So we just want to give the background rect this height here, and then the extent will fill it in for us. So now you can select this in like a scatter plot or on a map or something. Of course, when we do this extent thing, it doesn't set it. I wonder if this is how it works. I don't actually know how you do extent in 2D, so we have to look it up in the docs. I'll leave that as an exercise for the viewer. Alright, that's about the extent of this one. I'll catch y'all in the next one.